Good morning. My name is Hector Omi Martinez Rosado, Procurement Division Director for the Community Development Block Grant, Disaster Recovery and Mitigation Programs. In this pre-proposal meeting, we are going to discuss the request for proposal number CDBG-DR-RFP-2026-02 for planning services for vacant property recovery program under the CDBG-DR program. Now I would like to introduce the Puerto Rico Department of Housing personnel. Along with me is Catherine Vidal, Technical Specialist, Catherine Chacon, Procurement Official, Carmen Alicea from the Planning Division, and Erika Caban from the Federal Compliance Division and Subrecipient Management Division. Any questions submitted in this meeting will be answered in writing and published in an addendum. Any information provided in this meeting does not change the terms and conditions established in the request for proposals instructions. This meeting is being recorded and made available on the CDBG-DR YouTube channel. Regarding the procurement manual and contractual requirements, all procurement process shall be conducted in accordance with the terms and conditions established in the procurement manual for the CDBG-DR, CDBG-MEET, and CDBG state programs to guarantee full and open competition and fair treatment for all persons or entities involved in each procurement process. The procurement manual is available on the CDBG-DR website, incorporated by reference and made an integral part of this request for proposal. Now, we have a presentation from Carmen Alicea from the Planning Division for an explanation of the scope of work. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Carmen Alicea. I'm from the Planning Division in the Disaster Recovery Office in BRDOH or Puerto Rico Housing Department. I will be presenting a brief summary of the Vacant Property Recovery Program introduction, and I will be elaborating on the scope of work of the program. Why are we here? The Vacant Recovery Program aims to support municipalities, state agencies, and other organizations with authority or responsibilities that are related to the management and reuse of vacant and abandoned properties. We will support these entities through planning and capacity building activities, this to facilitate the role in code enforcement to address the problem of vacant and abandoned properties in Puerto Rico. The Vacant Property Recovery Programs is complementary to the Vacant Properties Assessment Initiative that presently the Planning Division is performing. It started on 2023, and the Vacant Properties Assessment Initiative focuses on identifying the vacant and abandoned properties in Puerto Rico, and the product of the program is being shared with the municipalities currently, and it involves an inventory of these vacant and abandoned properties. Through the Vacant Property Recovery Program, we focus on planning and capacity building activities to support or address the issues of vacant abandoned properties that are being identified through the inventory of VPA initiative, but not limited to that. The municipalities could also conduct their own inventories of abandoned properties, and we are aiming to support the with planning and capacity building activities the municipalities and other entities related. The RFP process that is currently on place is for the Vacant Property Recovery Program in the Planning Division. The program is structured in 4 main steps. The first step is the initial setup. Through it, we will engage with the participating entities, we will formalize contracts with service providers, and launch the program. In the second step, it is for skill development and planning resources. We will assess participating entities' needs. We will provide training to participating entities, and we will develop standardized strategies and toolkits. And step 3, we will perform implementation strategies assessment through monitoring the progress of the participating entities, support participating entities in applying the strategies, and document best practices. And the fourth step is the program administration and closeout. We will manage program activities, execute program closeout and activities, comply with PRDOH and HOTS requirements. For these 4 steps, PRDOH and the service provider are involved in the 4 steps. The participating entities will be participating in the second and third steps. We will have 2 main groups in the program. The service providers that Puerto Rico PRDOH is issuing the request for proposal to provide planning services for the vacant property recovery program. The service providers will provide support with the development and implementation of the planning and capacity building activities. This to strengthen the participating entities' abilities and efforts in addressing issues with vacant and abandoned properties. The second group are the participating entities. These are municipalities, state agencies, or other organizations that have the authority or responsibility related to the management and reuse of vacant and abandoned properties in Puerto Rico. These participating entities may voluntarily choose to participate in a BPR program. The program will be promoted throughout the whole of Puerto Rico, the 78 municipalities, and PRDH may establish a maximum number of participating entities due to funding limitations, availability, and other programmatic constraints. And who is involved in the process? Mainly we have PRDOH, or the Puerto Rico Department of Housing. We administered CDBG-DR funds. We manage, administer, and oversee the service provider contract with the support of the grant manager. We are the point of contact of other departments such as compliance, procurement, finance, and others. We establish participation agreements with the different participating entities to conduct the program activities. We have the service provider or providers, and they will provide services requested by PRDOH for the program implementation. They will provide technical assistance to the participating entities that are interested in addressing the challenges related to vacant and abandoned properties, and they will design and present a planning and capacity building process that provides standardized strategies, tools, and for implementation for the participating entities. And we have the participating entities. They have the relevant authority and responsibility of managing processes related to vacant and abandoned properties. They participate in capacity building sessions and stakeholder meetings to collaborate in planning and capacity building processes. And they sign participation agreements with PRDOH to receive support and strengthen their capacity to implement strategies and use the standardized tools. As for the request for proposals, the objective for the proposal is to contract with service provider or service providers to provide the planning and capacity building, technical assistance, and support services for the implementation of the BPR program with its participating entities. The requested services are program administration, compliance, oversight, legal and policy knowledge and experience in vacant and abandoned properties, urban and environmental planning, stakeholder outreach and engagement, capacity building and training, development of education materials, technical review and quality control of program needs, and bilingual services in Spanish and English. As for the scope of work, the program vacant property recovery program objectives are to provide training and technical support vacant abandoned abandoned properties, related to processes to strengthen institutional knowledge and implementation capacity, develop standardized resources and tools to address vacant and abandoned properties, assist in the development and implementation of community engagement strategies that convene multiple stakeholders, these to address vacant and abandoned property issues, develop maps, other geospatial products to support data-driven analysis and the decision-making. And this, as I established at the beginning, the program will be implemented through 4 main steps that are to be coordinated. The number one is the initial phase. Second is the skill development and planning resources. The third is implementation strategies, assessment. And the fourth is the program administration and closeout. These steps coordinated, they will address the vacant and abandoned properties while supporting the long-term community revitalization. The step one, it is the initial setup, and it contemplates task one is the program presentation, the kickoff meeting with the selected proposers. Subtask 1.1 is the kickoff meeting with the service, the selected proposers or proposer. There are no deliverables, but the selected proposer or proposers are required to participate in related activities. It is to be performed within the first 15 days upon contract signing, and the reimbursement method for this is per hourly rate. There's a subtask 1.2 is the initial program presentation with the entities. The deliverable is as requested by PRDOH, outreach and engagement materials for these initial program presentation activities with the entities. Timeframe is within 1 month of signing, and the reimbursement method will be per hourly rate. Step 2, the skill development and planning resources. We have task number 2, program needs assessment. So task 2.1 is outreach and engagement plan. And the deliverable will be this outreach and engagement plan. It is to be performed within 2 months of signing, and the reimbursement will be per deliverable unit. So task 2.2 is the program presentation meetings and with potential participating entities. The deliverable will be the program presentation meetings package within month 3 and month 4, and reimbursement will be per hourly rate. So task 2.3, potential participating entities, processes, documents, and staffing. Deliverables will be standardized form or digital tool, and potential participating entities assessment and capacity needs, summary report, and supporting documents archive. Time frame is from month 3 to month 7, and reimbursement will be per deliverable unit. In step 2, we have task 3 also. It involves capacity and training activities. So task 3.1 is standardized toolkit model. There will be the final toolkit model. Time frame is from month 6 to month 10. Reimbursement will be per deliverable unit. Subtask 3.2 is the capacity building curriculum. Deliverables will be the training module and material package for this curriculum. Time frame is from month 6 to month 10, and reimbursement will be per deliverable unit. And subtask 3.3 is capacity building and training activities with the potential participating entities. Deliverables are the final report on outreach, engagement, and training and capacity building activities. And the time frame is month 10 to month 12, and reimbursement is per hourly rate. We have task 4 under step 2, participating entities activities. Subtask 4.1 is an activities tracker with participating entities. Deliverables are structure and framework tracker model, a tracker to monitor the status of activities with the participating entities submitted in a virtual format. Time frame is from month 11 to month 13, and reimbursement is per deliverable unit. And we have subtask 4.2, participation agreements with the participating entities. Deliverables are template for the participating entity agreements and evidence of executed participation agreements with 100% of the participating entities. The time frame is from month 12 to month 13, and reimbursement will be per hourly rate. Now we have step 3, the implementation strategies assessment. Under it, we have task 5, implementation strategies assessment. Subtask 5.1 is initial meetings with participating entities. The deliverable will be a final report with the summary of all initial meetings conducted with all the participating entities. The time frame is from month 14 to month 15, and the reimbursement will be per hourly rate. Subtask 5.2, progress meetings with the participating entities. Final report will be the summary of all the progress meetings conducted with all participating entities, and time frame is from month 16 to 17, reimbursement per hourly rate. And subtask 5.3, implementation strategies assessment report. Deliverables are final strategies implementation report outline, and then the final strategies implementation report. Time frame is from month 16 to 18, and the reimbursement will be per deliverable unit. Step 4, the program administration and closeout. We have task 6, program administration and oversight. Subtask 6.1, program reporting, monitoring, and compliance. Deliverables will be work plan to inform projected schedules and resources for program activities. The time frame for this deliverable is within 10 business days upon contract execution. We have the deliverable of monthly or any special reports as requested by PRDOH to inform progress and status of program activities. Time frame is within 5 business days and 5 business days at the beginning of the following month. And we have the deliverable of electronic and physical documents archive containing work plan, progress reports, meeting summaries, and deliverables. Time frame is upon contract execution to month 18. All of these deliverables and subtasks are through reimbursement method of per hourly rate. And we have task 7, program closeout under step 4. Subtask 7.1 is program closeout. Deliverable is to complete PRDOA's closeout process documents using the system of record. Time frame is no later than 90 days, calendar days after the end date of completion of task 5. Task 5 is the implementation strategies assessment, and reimbursement method is per hourly rate. With this, finish the scope of work presentation. Now I will leave you with the procurement division team. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Good morning. My name is Catherine Vidal, and I will be explaining where to acquire the RFP documents and what are the important dates regarding this RFP. RFP documents acquisition. The RFP documents are available for download on our Agiloft platform, which can be accessed through our CDBG website instructions as presented on screen. Once the Agiloft platform, you can complete the registration. I'm sorry. The CDBG website instructions as presented on screen. Once in the Agile platform, you must complete the registration. There you will find the list of available processes. You must select Planning Services for Vacant Property Recovery Program. You may click View as presented on the screen. Click on I am interested. Then click on Procurement Documents to view the list of required documents. Next, the important dates for this RFP are the following. Please submit questions and requests for clarification on or before July 17th at 4 p.m. Responses to all questions and requests for clarifications will be published on July 29th, 2026. Our procurement process due dates are September 1st, 2026 at 9 a.m. That would be when the system opens, up to September 3rd, 2026 at 4 p.m. Submission of questions and inquiries. Each potential proposer must submit all questions in writing on or before July 17th, 2026 at 4 p.m. through the Agiloft platform in the questions submission section. When the period for submitting questions is open in accordance with the scheduled dates, the tab displayed on the screen will be enabled to submit questions. You must enter your question in the designated field, specify the section of the procurement package and the page number of the RFP to which your question refers to. Click to the submit button. Once submitted, the question will appear in the table titled My Questions, along with the date and time it was submitted. After the deadline for submitting questions has passed, the three fields and the button mentioned above will no longer be visible. However, all submitted questions will remain visible in My Questions table. Responses will be published to an addendum to the procurement process and will be included in the Procurement Documents tab. All documents related to this process, including addenda issued by the Puerto Rico Department of Housing, are and will be available for download on the Agiloft platform. All respondents must review the aforementioned website to download any addenda issued for this procurement process, if applicable. Now, with you, my coworker, Catherine, she will be presenting how to submit the proposal.
Thank you, Catherine. My name is Catherine Chacon, and I will explain how to submit the proposals for this RFP and how the proposals will be evaluated. Regarding the proposals electronic submission, proposals must be submitted by the deadline indicated in Section 4.3 of the instructions of this RFP. Responses to the RFP will be accepted only by electronic means. Proposers are advised that the Department of Housing will accept proposals submitted electronically only. Proposals submitted after the established deadline will not be accepted. Once the registration process has been completed through the Agiloft platform, the proposer will be granted access to submit its proposal electronically as discussed. Access for proposal submission will be available from the proposal's due date and will remain available until the scheduled closing date and time. Before submitting your proposal, you must complete all required fields and upload all required documents. Once uploaded, the documents may be viewed at the bottom of the page. It is important to note that for your proposal to be considered, you must click the Submit button after uploading all required documents. Regarding the evaluation criteria, the evaluation will be based on the criteria outlined on the screen. The criteria below are listed in order of importance. The proposal evaluation considers the following. Critical criteria is used to evaluate qualifications and experience of the proposer to successfully perform the services required in this RFP, as evidenced by the successful implementation of relevant services of similar scope and complexity, preferably in large complex public organizations like the state government and federal entities. Quality of the proposed approach and its relevance to the services described in this RFP, including implementation schedule and understanding of the PRDOH goals. The important criteria is used to evaluate professional qualifications and specialized experience of the proposed key staff as evidenced by relevant experience to the role proposed. Company capacity as evidenced by the information provided in the cover letter, executive summary, organizational chart, among others. Evaluation will consider the proposer's stability, relevant experience, and internal capacity to support and manage the services required under this RFP. Capacity of the proposed staff and the ability to commit adequate time to effectively perform the services in the role assigned within the required time frame. Pass or fail criteria is used to evaluate financial stability of the proposer and its capacity to effectively perform the services. Capacity of the entity to effectively provide the services required in this RFP. Preference evaluation includes level, quality, and relevancy of participation by Section 3 business concern and minority, women, veteran businesses, enterprises. The cost proposal evaluation will determine reasonableness of overall price, allocation of effort, and overall value offered. Regarding SAM registration, proposers and first-tier subcontractors must be registered in the System for Award Management, also known as SAM, at the time of the proposal submission or initiate the registration process right after the proposal submission. For more information, please visit the SAM website. There is no fee to create, renew, or update your registration. Awards will only be issued to entities that are cleared and not ineligible for award of a contract due to suspension, debarment, or HUD-imposed limited denial of participation. Now we will leave you with Erika Cabang from the Federal Compliance Division, who will explain the federal compliance requirements.
Thank you. Greetings, my name is Erika Caban, representing the Federal Compliance Team from the Puerto Rico Department of Housing. Today, our agenda includes a discussion on the overview of compliance roles and responsibilities. We will also review the tools available on our website. Finally, we will cover document efforts, reporting requirements, and address frequently sub-questions. The procurement package language section 3, the work to be performed under the contract resulting from this RFP may be subject to the requirements of Section 3 and the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968 as amended. Section 3 helps foster local economic development, neighborhood economic improvement, and individual self-sufficiency. It is PRDOH's policy to require its recipients, contractors, and subcontractors of our recipients to provide training and equal employment opportunities to low and very low income persons, particularly those who are recipients of government assistance for housing or residents of the community in which the federal assistance is spent to the greatest extent feasible. The Puerto Rico Department of Housing makes available a Section 3 policy guide on their website, both in English and in Spanish. Contractors must read and implement activities as applicable and necessary. They are also responsible for their subcontractors, ensuring that benchmarks are met. for section projects 24 CFR 55 has established the following benchmarks. 25% of the total labor hours per project should be work hours by Section 3 workers, and 5% of the total labor hours should be work hours by targeted Section 3 workers. The Section 3 plan for contractors and recipients. This document template allows contractors or recipients to outline their strategies for meeting Section 3 hiring, training, and contracting goals. A Section 3 contractor plan template is available online on the PRDOH site in English and Spanish. This document assists in identifying new hiring and subcontracting needs, helps plan outreach efforts, and supports coordinators in managing daily activities. Finally, it helps define compliance procedures and it helps you understand your reporting requirements. We also have the Section 3 self-certification forms. This document templates help individuals identify if they meet the requirements to be considered a Section 3 worker or targeted worker. Contractors and recipients must make efforts to complete self-certification forms as part of their contracting and purchasing procedures, fulfilling their Section 3 business identification commitment. The business that are identified as Section 3 will be part of the database for dissemination or contracting and additional purchasing opportunities. The procurement package language for MWBE, the work to be performed under the contract resulting from this RFP, shall be subject to the regulations set forth in the CFR 200.321. This regulation requires the non-federal entity to take necessary steps to ensure that, when possible, all subrecipient contractors and subcontractors and/or developers funded with CDBG-DR or CDBG mitigation funds hire or provide economic opportunities to small and minority firms, women-owned businesses, enterprises, veteran-owned businesses, and labor surplus firms. Consistent with Executive Orders number 11625, 12138, and 12432, non-federal entities shall make every feasible effort to ensure that small business, minority-owned business, enterprises, veteran-owned, and labor surplus business participate in contracting. There are various regulations that call for the inclusion of minorities and women business enterprises for 2 CFR 200.321, as well as executive orders mentioned in the screen, establish the participation of MWBE firms, which seek to ensure that, when possible, contracts and other economic opportunities funded in whole or in part with federal housing and community development assistance are directed to these businesses. The Department of Housing has established an MWBE policy guide. This is available on the website in both English and Spanish, and you can access these documents visiting our website at recuperacion.pr.gov. The MWBE policy guide will identify that there are goals which apply to professional services, purchasing supplies, and construction contracting. There is a total minimum participation goal, which are 10% for women-owned businesses and 10% for minority-owned businesses. Contractors are expected to perform good faith efforts for contracting, subcontracting, and purchasing opportunities of $10,000 or more during the life of the contract. The descriptions for MWBE companies for MBE is defined as a business that is 51% or more owned, operated, and controlled on a daily basis by one or more U.S. citizen of ethnic minority and or gender and or military classifications and or veterans. For a WBE is a business concern that is 51% owned and controlled by one or more women, must be U.S. citizen or legal resident aliens whose business information and principal place of business are in the U.S. or its territories, and whose management and daily operations are controlled by women. When we talk about certified minority or women-owned businesses, we are referring to those who have filed applications with federal entities such as SBA and others that you see here on the slide. Businesses who are certified can provide proof of completing an application process to be officially recognized as a certified minority or women-owned business. If you are registered as an MWB, you should provide your valid certificate or other evidence in response to this RFP. As part of its obligation to the Department of Housing, the contractor's recipient must carry out compliance efforts during the term of the agreement or contract, which will be reported by submitting the quarterly federal compliance report. It is the duty of every organization to keep the preservation of documents updated according to the policy on document management, administration, and accessibility created in our organization. The Department of Housing has established a quarterly federal compliance report submission process through an online link available to recipient and contractors to complete and submit the required information. This form is the method for reporting quarterly compliance activity and efforts on Section 3 and MWB regulations. Also, recipient contractors are expected to have a system for collecting updated information for reporting on this form. PRDOH requires quarterly submissions from all contractors to be submitted on April 5th, July 5th, October 5th, and January 5th. Next, we will discuss Fair Housing and Equal Opportunities, known as FHEO. Your RFP packages will also contain a model contract with outlines fair housing and equal opportunity areas of compliance. Contractors are responsible for ensuring compliance with federal civil rights and fair housing through their contractors, subcontractors, and so forth, ensuring that all necessary efforts are being made. The Fair Housing Act and Section 109 and 504 prohibit discrimination against the following protected classes of people, including race, color, national origin, religion, sex, age, familial status, disability, gender identity, and sexual orientation. The Fair Housing Act is part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. There are many executive orders, laws, and statutes that govern the non-discrimination of protected classes to ensure equal opportunity for individuals in accessing federal-funded programs. Equal opportunity is afforded to protected classes through a number of these federal laws and executive orders. PRDOH has published policy documents addressing FHEO as well as language access plan. These policies must be implemented by contractors and recipients. They're publicly available online in both English and Spanish. As a recipient of HUD financial assistance, the Department of Housing must ensure that all programs affirmatively further access to fair housing and that the program provide equal opportunity for participation and employment. Reasonable accommodations are adjustments to a program policy, practice, or service that afford individuals with disabilities equal access to the program benefits. Section 504 requires federally funded programs provide requested RAs, RMs at the cost of the program to the extent that they are reasonable and address a verified disability-related need. Contractors that have 15 employees or more are required to have a 504 coordinator. The CDBG-DR and CDBG-MIT reasonable accommodations policy provide requirements and guidance for evaluating these requests. PRDOH supports programs in handling and evaluations of these requests. For limited English proficiency, also known as LEP, refers to a person's limited ability to read, write, speak, or understand English. Due to Puerto Rico's high Spanish-speaking population, all entities and contractors using the CDBG-DR and CDBG-MIT funding must seek to ensure both that the person's limited ability to read, write, speak, or understand English or Spanish will not place them at a disadvantage in the participation of programs. Thank you for your attention. Please remember to direct all your questions through the established protocols for this procurement. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in this proposal meeting. We appreciate your time. Please remember that any questions submitted during this meeting will be answered in writing and published through an addendum. To learn how to navigate the Agilo platform, please refer to the instructional manual available on the CDBG website. We wish you a great day. Thank you.